Hello dear students, welcome back for the second session of History Chapter 4, the Mughal Empire. As said in the last session, we will have this session as question and answers. So let's get started. Question and answers. First question, match the column. The left side would be question, the right side is answer. Mansab is rank. Mongol, Uzbek. Sisodia Rajput, Mewar. Rathor Rajput, Marwar. Nurjahan, Jahangir. Subadar, Governor. Second question, fill in the blanks. The capital of Mirza Hakim, Akbar's half bro, here was dash, Kabul. The five Deccan Sultanate were Berar, Khandesh, Ahmednagar, dash, Bijapur, Golconda. If Jat determined a Mansabdar's rank and salary, Sever indicated his dash, number of horses maintained. Abul Fazl, Akbar's friend and counselor, helped him frame the idea of dash so that he could govern a society composed by many religions, cultures and caste. Answer is administration. Third question. What were the central provisions under the control of the Mughals? Answer is Panipat, Lahore, Delhi, Agra, Mathura, Amber, Ajmer, Fatehpur Sikri, Chittor, Ranthambore and Allahabad. Question 4. What were the relationship between the Mansabdar and the Jagir? Answer. Relationship between the Mansabdar and the Jagir were Mansabdar were those who joined Mughal service. Jagirs were the salaries of the Mansabdars in form of revenue assignments. It means Mansabdars received Jagirs as their salaries. Hence, Mansabdars depended upon Jagirs for their livelihood. Question 5. What was the role of the Zamindar in Mughal administration? Answer. Zamindars were powerful local chieftains appointed by the Mughal rulers. They exercised great influence and power. They collected taxes from the peasants and gave them to the Mughal emperor. Thus, they played the role of intermediaries. In some areas, the zamindars became more powerful. The exploitation by Mughal administrators made them to rebellion. They got support from the peasants in rebelling against the Mughal authority. Question 6. How were the debates with religious scholars important in the formation of Akbar's ideas of governance? Answer. In the 1570s at Fatehpur Sikri, Akbar started discussions on religion with the people of different faiths. There were ulemas, Brahmins, Jewish Catholic priests and Zoroastrians. These discussions took place in Ibadat Khana. These were about social and religious customs. These interactions made him realize that religious scholars are bigots. They emphasize rituals and dogma. Their teachings create divisions in society. This led to the idea of Shule Kul as universal peace. Question 7. Why did the Mughals emphasize their Timurid and not their Mughal descendant? The Mughals were descendants of two great lineages of rulers. From their mother's side, they were descendants of Genghis Khan, ruler of the Mongol tribes. From the father's side, they were the successors of Temur, the ruler of Iran. Iran and modern day Turkey. However, the Mughals did not like to be called Mongols because the Mongols, especially Genghis Khan, memory was associated with the massacre of innumerable people. It was also linked with the Uzbeks, their Mongol competitors. On the other hand, the Mughals were proud of their Timurid ancestry because it achieved good name in the history. Question 8. How important was the income from land revenue to the stability of the Mughal emperor? The income from land revenue is very important to the stability of the Mughal emperor as it was used for extension of empire, wars, etc. Income is used to pay salaries, wages to army, bureaucrats, artisans and workers. The administrative expenditure is dealt by the income. Question 9. Why was it important for the Mughals to recruit Mansabdars and from diverse backgrounds and not just Turanis and Iranis? The Mughal emperor expanded from different regions. Hence, it was important for the Mughals to recruit diverse bodies of people in order to make people comfortable with them. Apart from Turanis and Iranis, now there were Mansabdars and from Indian Muslims, Afghans, Rajputs, Marathas and other groups. Question 10. Like the Mughal Empire, India today is also made up of many social and cultural units. Does this pose a challenge to national integration? No. This does not pose a challenge to national integration because we have a unified system of government that has the same rules and regulations for all the citizens irrespective of religion, region, etc. We have a constitution guarding the rights of all the specifying their duties. Now we are unified as nation, not a distinct state or region of different rulers. Question 11. Peasants were vital from economic of the Mughal emperor. Do you think that they are an important today? They are as important today? Has the gap in the income between the rich and the poor in India changed a great deal from the period of Mughals? Answer. Peasants are as important today as they were during the Mughal Empire. They cultivate land and grow crops, without which we cannot survive. They pay land revenue to the government, which is used in various development work. We cannot think of second economy without them. They are the backbone of the country. Question 12. The Mughal Empire left its impact on the different regions of the subcontinent in a variety of ways. Find out if it had any impact in the city, village or region in which you live. Yes, we have great architectural remains of this period which gives lot of information about the construction material styles, etc. Islam as a religion gave a distinct cultural flavor to the city. Urdu has enriched our literature, music and art of writing. Mughal remains are great tourist attractions. So this is where we end with our question answer session of the chapter. So do write these question answers in your notebook, recite them well for your exams. So see you in the next session. Till then, bye and take care.